5 of us so desire.
That's true. It is the consensus of the school committee that the existing school building committee members would be revoted. Just about 2 months ago, we reiterated our charge and reappointed them. Of course, this process could change that and put some of those applicants into those voting roles. However, they have been hardworking citizens and dedicated to the project, and we would hope that they would be allowed to continue. As Bob said, in addition to this list that I read off, there are a number of town employees, such as the TA and the superintendent and principals, that we would appoint as associate members. However, we've kept it at 11 because of the number. I think it's a manageable size, and also to keep residents as voting members on this board.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay, I'm going to call for a roll call vote. We'll start with, I'm sorry, Mr.
We didn't get the recommendation yet.
Oh,
Yes.
Aye.
Jerry Venezia is our liaison to the board, and Chuck Carucci, chairman of the building committee, is also here. I don't know if they have any thoughts they'd like to.
I thought she made a recommendation.
Oh,
We did, yes, we did.
Go ahead,
Mr.
Mr.
Chairman, I think you stated
yeah.
the recommendation as we're making it. That would be the existing 8 names on the current committee, which includes myself, plus Mr. Bowers, Mr. Delaney, Mr. Kelleher. That would be our recommendation for the 11 voting members.
Okay, any other questions? I'll call for a roll call vote, and we'll start with members of the school committee. Mrs. Vaca?
Maureen Baca votes yes on the 11 names entered.
Mr. Webster?
yes.
Mr. Evanchetti?
Yes.
I'm sorry.
We should be
When
calling
we-
the
I was
names.
looking
No,
up.
no, we have to give the
Would you
names.
like me to enter the names?
You have to read the
Yes.
names,
I will
please.
enter Mr. Carucci, Ms. Maynard, Ms. Witz, Mr. Nathan, Ms. Ambriano, Mr. Doble, Mr. Stiles, Mr. Venezia as the school committee vote, Mr. Delaney as the Board of Selectmen representative, and Mr. Kelleher as the finance committee representative, and Mr. Bowers as the representative engineers and architects.
Okay, there'll be no need to just read the names. Mr. Venezia?
Yes, fair. Yes.
You don't want to repeat the names?
You have
You're
to read
voting
the
for the
names.
same?
Yeah.
You want to repeat the 11 names again?
Yes.
Yes. Voting for Mr. Carucci, Ms. Maynard, Ms. Witz, Mr. Nathan, Ms. Imbriano, Mr. Doble, Mr. Stiles, myself, Mr. Delaney, Mr. Kelleher, and Mr. Bowers.
Okay.
Okay.
Mr. Bowers?
Yes, I'm voting for Mr. Carucci, Ms. Maynard, Ms. Witz, Mr. Nathan, Ms. Embriano, Mr. Doble, Mr. Stiles, Mr. Venezia, and
Okay, let's go Mr. Webster now, because,
What?
Delaney and
What?
sorry, okay. Mr. Webster?
Yes, I'm voting for Chuck Carucci, Helen Maynard, Lori
It's got 'em in
Woods,
order.
Steve Nathan, Janine Imbriano, Greg Doble, Edwin Stiles, Jerry Venezia, Sean Delaney, Don Kelleher, and Cliff Bowers.
And
Karen,
Ms.
your last name again. I'm sorry.
Ericetti?
What?
Ericetti.
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 Or you could just say my old last name.
Mrs. Ericetti.
All right, I affirm my support along with the other school committee members of Chuck Carucci, Helen Maynard, Lori Witz, Steve Nathan, Janine Imbriano, Greg Doble, Edwin Stiles, Jerry Venezia, Sean Delaney, Don Kelleher, and Cliff Bowers.
That's everybody on the school committee.
On the school committee, you got a specific
Okay.
order
Um,
that'll make you happy?
Well, I wanted to make sure I didn't forget a name here,
Oh,
because
okay.
we kind of jumped, that's all.
Okay.
But,
Mr. Yule?
yes, I endorse Chuck Carucci, Helen Maynard, Lori Witz, Steve Nathan, Janine Imbriano, Greg Doble, Edwin Stiles, Jerry Venezia, Sean Delaney, Don Kelleher, and Cliff Bowers.
Mr. Vino?
Mr. Carucci, Ms. Maynard, Ms. Witz, Mr. Nathan, Ms. Imbriano, Mr. Doble, Mr. Stiles, Mr. Venezia, Mr. Delaney, Mr. Kelleher, and Mr. Bowers.
And Mr. Delaney?
Mr. Carucci, Ms. Maynard, Ms. Witz, Mr. Nathan, Ms. Embriano, Mr. Doble, Mr. Stiles, Mr. Venezia, Mr. Kelleher, Mr. Bowers, and Mr. Dardino.
No,
Okay,
no, not Mr. Dardino.
yes. Yes, he's one of the, on the list.
He's an associate.
No, he's not.
No, he's not.
No, they're all in, all the applicants are in
That
as
list.
nominations for
Right.
voting members.
And the chair votes, Mr. Carucci, Mr. Maynard, Mr. Witz, Mr. Nathan, Mr. Imbriano, Mr. Doble, Mr. Stiles, Mr. Venezia, Mr. Delaney, Mr. Kelleher, and Mr. Dardino.
Okay.
And I would like to just say that those members that were not voted as voting members, please, you're also needed on the committee, so I would hope that you choose to participate. And with that, I believe that the roll call tally yields Mr. Carucci, Mr. Maynard, Mr. Witz, Mrs. Witz, Mr. Nathan, Mrs. Imbriano, Mr. Doble, Mr. Stiles, Mr. Venezia, Mr. Delaney, Mr. Kelleher, Mr. Bowers.
Mr. Chairman, if you would permit, the school committee would like to just take a moment to go ahead and vote the associate members into place.
Sure,
Um,
and we'll record that in our minutes.
Thank you. To the school committee, I'll accept a nomination for the following members to be voted as associate members to the school building committee. That would include Aldo Tramontozzi, John Fasay, principal of middle school, John Bernard, principal of high school, Wayne Hardiker, superintendent of buildings and ground, Keith Manville as interim superintendent, soon to be replaced by Kathleen Willis, the new superintendent, Greg Balakonis, town administrator, Phil Dardino, Jack Pecora, Dan McKinnis, Aylin Headed. I took a motion to accept them as associate members.
So moved. Did you include all the traumatizing?
Yes, I did.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? None. Thank you.
Did you get that? All right, thank you. Let's hope this thing gets off on the right foot.
The motion was never read.
What?
The actual motion was never
You?
read. Our motion was actually never read.
Oh.
Shall we read it?
Do we want to just read the
You
motion?
can read the motion. Yeah, let's do it.
No,
Okay. Sorry.
Because,
Well, we can't,
no, you can't
What?
read
we
it.
can't now.
No, you
Why
can't
not?
read it now.
Well, just to.
It's just our
Make a
vote.
record, just make a record on the motion. Read the.
okay,
motion.
Mr. Chairman, I move to establish a new secondary schools building committee consisting of 11 voting members and nominate the following for appointment to the committee for the duration of the project.
Well, I think it was clear that that's what we were doing.
Right, but it was just never read.
Yeah.
And it's a joint, so it's,
Yeah,
can't do it.
okay.
Do you want to do this?
I wanna
Or we
do-
just assign it?
We just sign that. We have the minutes of March 15th. Regular session.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I
Yule.
move to approve the March 15, 2010 regular session minutes as written.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Yule, seconded by Mr. Vino. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous? And we have the minutes of March 30th, regular session. Mr. Yule, when you're ready.
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve the March 30th, 2010 regular session minutes as written.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Yule, seconded by Mr. Vivino. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous? We also have the executive session on March 30th.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I move to approve the March 30th, 2010 executive session minutes as written.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Yule, seconded by Mr. Vino. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous? We have correspondence, yellow sheets. Any you want on there? I guess the one thing I make a comment on is that it looks like the, there's a lot of activity at the, board of
Almost.
The ZBA?
the ZBA. I don't know whether that's good or bad, but. Public comment? Anyone here for public comment? Moving right along, we have a license renewals. CNR Dream, is that dog seasonal transient vendor is ready for approval? This is the fellow that sells the hot dogs
Hot dogs,
at the
yeah.
little park there on
Yeah.
62?
It is, and Mr. Penny is present. If you have any questions, he's in the back of the room.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And should note that he has gone, all of the departments have had an opportunity to comment, and there are no comments, no additional requirements of municipal departments on this particular application.
Okay. And then we also have the bowling alley. We'll do one first, Mr. Yule.
Mr. Chairman, I move to renew the transient vendor license for CNR Dream Dogs located at North Parish Park and Mullen Field to expire December 31, 2010, subject to all regulatory departments
Second.
requirements.
Motion by Mr. Yule, seconded by Mr. Vino. Any discussion, further
None.
discussion? Anybody in the audience? No?
Good
Mr.
evening.
O'Leary, we're about to vote on a license for CNR Dream Dogs.
What is it?
CNR Dream Dogs. Gentleman is in the back there, hiding behind.
How could you be opposed to that?
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous? Now we have also a bowling license for Candle. Are they out of sequence, or?
It's one of those peculiar licenses that the law requires it be renewed in May of every year. So it is out of sequence, it's not due to our doing, it's because of the timing of the state law. It should be noted that the applicant has several other licenses, so there's been an inspection of his premises, there were no additional comments. Nothing has changed in the operation that would necessitate any additional review by municipal officers beyond what was done several months back.
Okay. Mr. Yule,
Yes, Mr. Chairman. Do you want to, okay, Mr. Chairman, I move to renew the bowling alley license for Rocket Entertainment, Inc., DBA Candlewood Lanes, 35 Main Street, to expire May 1, 2011, subject to all regulatory department requirements.
do I hear a second?
Second.
Motion by Mr. Yule, seconded by Mr. Vino. Further discussion?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous? Next item on our agenda is to discuss pedestrian safety advisory committee sidewalks. Mr. Yule.
This meeting's really moving fast, isn't it?
Yeah, keep it going.
Fast for
Keep
you,
Keep
or
it going.
Tough for me to keep up.
Put the brakes on it at this point.
we'll have a discussion
Steve's
coming
here.
up here.
Okay.
So did you say that? No, I didn't say that.
Gentlemen, for your convenience, I have, with minimal change, a copy of the document that I gave you last time with regarding to the North Reading Pedestrian Safety Advisory Committee. Did I give you one? No.
No, you
Same
didn't.
color.
That's something else.
Thank you.
Okay. To restate that our mission is, the purpose of the committee is to make all pedestrian access areas, including but not limited to sidewalks, crosswalks, intersections, roads, streets, and trails, are functional and safe from harm or injury